Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today is June 14th, 2025, and there were over 1,500 protests planned today. It's under the name No Kings. So we're right now in Rocky Mount, Virginia, a small local town at the farmer's market. There's probably about 200 people here, 150 to 200 people here. And we're gonna go talk to some people, ask them some questions, ask what they're protesting about, see, really what their problem is with our country right now, what's going on. So let's go have some fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with our first interviewee. What's your name?
Don Vineyard.
Don Vineyard. What do you do here locally in the county?
I'm the chair of the Franklin County Democratic Committee.
Okay, so he's the chair. What are you guys here protesting today?
Well, we're actually having a celebration.
Okay.
This is a celebration of the 250th anniversary of the first Continental Army, which made it possible for us to have the Constitution that we have. And we're celebrating the fact that with our Constitution, we have the right to assemble and redress our grievances to the government. We, the people, as your shirt says, we are the government, and they need to understand that. The protesting part is just to simply say, follow the Constitution.
Who am I here with today?
I'm Tressa Moore.
Okay. What are you out here protesting today?
We are protesting because we don't want kings in America. We are protesting Trump and all the stuff that he is doing to us.
Okay.
Tired of it.
What are those things? What's something specific you don't like?
Lots of cutting education, cutting all the things that we need. I am a public school teacher and we don't want cuts to education.
Public school teacher, okay.
Yes.
What do you think about abolishing the Department of Education? Are you really against that?
Absolutely not. We definitely need it.
Okay. What does the Department of Education do?
The Department of Education helps to maintain the schools. It helps to maintain the different things that we study in school so that we are not having all the Black History things cut, DEI and all those things. We need it.
We need it.
Checks and balances.
We need DEI. All right, who am I here with today?
Alex Anufrio.
Alex, nice to meet you. What do you do here in the county?
Just work a retail job.
Okay.
Much.
Awesome. What does your sign mean to you? Stop pretending your racism is patriotism.
Just a lot of Republicans, Trump, his cabinet. They disguise these deportations and arrests as they disguise it like they're criminals or bad people they're trying to kick out the country when it's simply they're just doing it because they're not white people.
Okay, so you believe the deportations are purely on racism?
Mostly. There are some criminals amongst it, but when you're deporting immigrants from this country that are simply here just for asylum seekers, when you're kicking people out just for that cause without any due process, that's absolutely not right and against the Constitution.
Are you aware that President Obama has deported more illegal aliens than President Trump?
Not educated on that.
He was like the mass deporter in our country. Who am I here with today?
Diane Wallace. I'm president of the Smith Mountain Lake Democrats.
Okay.
We have about 250 plus members over on the lake. We have people from Bedford County, Franklin County. We have people from other states who support us.
I see your sign, enough is enough, remove him now. I'm guessing that's President Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. What has he done that you'd like to see him be removed for?
Everything. He doesn't do a single thing that seems to be good. It seems to, whatever he does, hurts people.
Any specifics?
Yeah, sure. The putting RFK Jr. in charge of health.
Okay, we haven't heard that one today.
Oh my God, he's an idiot, and people are going to die. I'm positive of that. And children should not be subjected to his nonsense. He makes up studies. I was a medical librarian for many, many years, and there's research on all these things. These people who work for the government, who used to work for the government, know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about. They're credentialed. They're peer-reviewed. All that stuff. And
so, like Dr. Fauci, you're a huge supporter of Fauci?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, the poor guy took all that crap after spending years and years and years saving people's lives.
All right, what's your name?
James Sword.
James Sword. What do you do here in the county?
I'm retired law enforcement.
Okay, awesome. And so we were just talking to the Democratic chair here in the county.
Good
and
man.
You said you were a Republican out here protesting.
Yeah.
Been a Republican since you were 18?
18.
18. So what are you here today for? What's important to you?
Because I see what democracy falling, and I see Republicans not even doing what they're hired to do.
So you're here, you're a Republican. I see not for sale our democracy. You just mentioned democracy. What is a democracy?
We vote we're represented by the people and by the people we elect. And they have certain duties, and we expect them to do that.
Okay. How important is the Constitution to you?
That's everything. Our founding fathers set that up.
You know
we've
that
amended it since.
the founding fathers who drafted the Constitution explicitly said that America was not a democracy.
That's a republic. That's right.
Constitutional republic. Awesome. So I just wanted to clarify that. All right, who am I here with today?
My name's Nate Tarife.
Nate Tarife. What do you do here in the county?
I'm a CNA.
CNA. Okay.
Sir.
So I see you're wearing, looks like a king's armor. It's no king's protest.
Yep. My sign says, "I shall not bow."
You shall not bow. Okay, we got the
Sir.
sign. So what does that mean? Who is the king today?
Just Trump. He's overstepping a lot of things, and while he's trying to say he doesn't declare himself a king, he's acting like a dictator, in my opinion.
A dictator. What is a dictator?
Somebody who ignores the process of law and just does what he thinks he should be doing in his own mind.
Interesting. So what do you think about like the extreme pressure that was put on the American people for the COVID vaccine during
That's
COVID?
horrible. It was horrible. I think people died because of that.
For not getting
For
the
not
vaccine?
getting the vaccine.
So should it have been pushed harder? The vaccine to get it.
I don't know about that end of it.
Okay.
I think that the anti-vaxxers should have been quieted, if
Okay.
that's a thing, but I doubt it. I don't think the people that are pushing it or recommending it expected the backlash.
Interesting.
You know,
Yeah.
so it was hard for them to deal with. And people are like, it takes years. I said, but these people have been at this for years with other vaccines. They didn't start from ground zero like they did in the 40s, 50s, or whatever. I don't know my complete history.
Okay, so this is, so you said he's done earlier. You said everything that you don't like,
Oh
and
yeah,
that's why he
what
should be
he's doing
removed.
with colleges and
He was behind
universities.
Warp Speed, though. Trump was behind Operation Warp Speed, which got us the vaccine, the COVID vaccine.
Oh, that was probably an accident.
An accident. RFK is doing everything under MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. Do you agree with that statement? Make America healthy.
No, we're doing quite well
We're
without
doing
him.
quite well healthy.
Yeah, you know, I mean, look at, he's canceling cancer research.
Well, we do pay the most for healthcare though than any other country.
I know,
and
that's a whole
We're
other
like the
issue.
sickest country.
I don't think we're the sickest
Really?
by any means. Yeah.
You don't think we're the
No,
sickest? Our children?
no. We're probably not. We don't take as good care of ourselves, maybe diets and exercise, but I don't think we're sicker than other countries.
What are your grievances today that you are trying to get addressed?
Due process is number one.
You're saying for the illegal aliens.
I'm saying there are no such things as illegal aliens. There are no illegal persons. There are people who have not done the paperwork and who haven't gone through the process. That doesn't
Okay.
make them illegal. And
So when
illegal
you
is
come
not
over
a
the
person.
border and you don't
Illegal
do
is
the legal process, then you don't enter illegally?
No kings in America!
if you don't say your question.
I said if you don't come into our country the legal way and do the paperwork and everything, you come across the border illegally, you're not an illegal alien or legal immigrant.
The difficulty in that is that there is not currently the capacity for people to come across legally. We, as a country, we have failed to put together a real process for people to do so. Not one that works, because there are many more people who want to come in than can go through the process.
I believe that you're not a nation without borders.
So do
what do you
I.
think about?
And so do the Democrats.
So what do you think about?
We had a bill together, and it was ready to go, and then Trump killed it. That's true.
So then,
Look it up.
how did the president, our new president, President Donald Trump, he came in, and he was able to shut the border down without a bill?
He didn't shut the border down. People are still coming across.
So then, what are you protesting today? If the border
Because
is
he's
still
picking
open?
people off of the streets who aren't even immigrants. He's getting people who are real citizens, have been.
So the
gone through
deportations,
process.
that's a big grievance.
Of course it is.
Okay.
How would you like it if all of a sudden your family was pulled out of their house and sent somewhere you don't even know where?
Well,
people are being disappeared, not
well,
just picked
here's
up.
the thing. Here's the thing. When you come here
You're
illegally,
defending that.
first of all,
You're defending that?
No, here's what I'm defending. When you come across the border illegally, that's first a crime. But then the second thing is we have a lot of criminals that have come across the border. We have known terrorist people that killed innocent women like Lake and Riley down
Are
in
there
Georgia.
anywhere near the natural-born people
So,
here who have killed people?
Let me finish my point.
Nowhere
though.
near.
when Lake and Riley, you have innocent Americans who are killed like
How come
that.
you only have one person to bring up? That's the one you always bring
I think
up?
a point needs to be made there where those who do wrong should be deported and they should be sent back to their country of origin.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
There's
we
a
agree.
process for that.
So we agree.
But it does not involve people in masks, uniformed, in all kinds of gear with no identification, just grabbing people off the street, grabbing people when they come out of the ICE offices, when they're doing the job they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to come report, and they do, and when they come out, they're disappeared. People that don't.
I'd like to know where the due process
I'd like
is
to have
being
an answer
broken.
to that.
I'd like to
That's
see where it's being
it,
broken.
right
but,
there. That's due process.
What is it that Republicans are doing? Because you said you're a Republican.
No, it's what they're not doing.
What they're not doing. Okay, so what are they not doing? I want like specific actions that you'd like to see.
We had a chance when we've seen the president tell people to go January 6th to the Capitol, and he was going to go with them to protest and do their thing, and he knew what that was about. And if we didn't fight for the country, then we'd lose it. All that is trying to get Mike Pence and others to go against the Constitution and stop the vote. Now, ever since then, and ever since they wouldn't even want to stop him from doing what they were doing then, and not do their job, and say, hey, this isn't right. So it's what they're not
So
doing.
is your frustration with the Republicans in Congress or the president?
Well, it starts there with the presidency,
Okay.
but presidential powers have been a problem for a long time.
I agree with you there.
That's
I agree.
I don't care what party.
I agree.
So if we stop that somehow, we can stop a lot of these problems, because when we lose the power to control one individual, we lose the country.
Well, you make a really important point there, actually, because we, as a country, are made up of 3 branches in our federal government.
right.
And the founders did that so that each would hold the other
That's
accountable.
right.
And so when one, like the executive, gets out of hand, the others are
That's
supposed to rein them in, but we haven't seen that happen.
That's right.
So I agree. That's a very good point.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for interviewing.
Yep.
It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Appreciate
sir.
it. So what do you think about Elon going in and disrupting that?
I don't think about Elon
and trying to
at
cut
all.
the funding.
I don't think about Elon.
What do you think
at all.
about what he did, though?
It's illegal. It's
Illegal.
It's monstrous, and he's enriching himself, as we all know. He's making all kinds
Enriching
of money
himself.
just off our contracts,
When he's not
just off
supposed
the
to do that.
contracts we're spending on him
Okay.
because he funded getting
So-
people into Congress.
But would you support maybe cutting some of that funding that's going to other countries for things that we really shouldn't be spending on, hundreds of millions of dollars?
I support a legal, responsible, legislative process that determines where our funding goes, because that's what we the people represent. The representatives are there to do what we ask them to do. So if the people here think that we should help the people who are starving in other countries, and they vote that way, and they stay in office because they did what we asked them to do, that money should go where it's supposed to go. And a king does not have the right, nor does a president, to just say, no, I'm not sending it.
In your opinion, do you think we the people support a lot of the programs and a lot of the things that we're sending money to in foreign countries?
Well, you have to ask yourself, do you believe in representative democracy?
What is a democracy? That's a good question.
Representative democracy, do you believe in it?
I believe in a constitutional republic. That's what America is.
And the representatives are the ones who do the legislative work.
Yes,
And
elected
they
by the
are-
people. But there is a difference
they
there
are
of a
elected.
democracy and a constitutional
I
republic.
didn't say democracy, I said a republican.
You said representative democracy.
Democratic republic based on democratic representation. That's how our representatives are put in office. That's why they're put in office, to do the will of the people, not the will of the
Right.
president.
And we're supposed to hold them accountable.
Absolutely. And
But they have to abide in that Constitution.
Right.
And that's why it's so important to remember that we are a constitutional republic, because that means that we as a people came together at the very founding of our country and we said, we believe in these morals and principles, and these things will not change over time. So that's very important to
No,
just make
that's
that
not true. They
distinction.
never said.
A constitutional republic.
They put right in the Constitution that it would change over time.
A way to amend the Constitution.
Yes, and that's how it changed, and that's how
So there's a way
your
to-
mom got a chance to vote. That's how all
Yep.
of our friends who are dark-skinned got a chance
But there
to
are
vote.
certain truths that never change because they are natural law.
Name one.
They're-
Name one.
Free speech.
Yes, that's why
Second
we're here
Amendment,
today.
right to defend yourself
That's why we're here
from
today.
government and other people.
That's why we're here today.
Yes.
And
you have the right to be. You have the
That's
right to be here. We do agree, though, that we need to work on our diets. As Americans,
Oh, yeah.
we need to eat healthier, right?
Yeah.
We need to maybe
We
not go to
eat too much
McDonald's
junk food,
quite as
yeah.
much. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we do.
Awesome.
I'm guilty of that. When it's
I mean, we all are,
convenient,
right?
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just listening to Gordon Ramsay, and he's like, I've never seen American breakfasts are horrible. That's so horrible, all that food first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of breakfast, but.
Well, we'll end on a good note. Thank you for letting us
Thank you. Nice to meet
interview.
you.
Yeah, good to
Keep
meet
up
you
the
too.
good fight.
Thank you.